Morning, Patriots. It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel. Got a little bit of news and information for you this morning that I wanted to get into. Play you a little bit of a video as well if you just stick around long enough. Before I get into these articles, let me just let everybody know Trump is having a rally today. The speaker starts speaking at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. But already this morning, Marjorie Taylor Greene and several of the candidates over there in Pennsylvania who already had things to say, they're already speaking up. Before the rally, doing interviews, I've been listening to RSBN. If you don't know, that's where it's happening today. They'll have excerpts of it on Newsmax later. But if you want to watch the whole thing, get over to RSBN. I think Trump's due to speak about 6 o'clock, if I remember right. But I'll definitely be listening to that. I want Doug Mastriano and Dr. Oz to win in that state. We need that Senate seat. We need that old Fetterman freak show dude that wants to legalize heroin. He's got to go. He sounds like Biden already. Anybody that sounds like Biden, talks like Biden, and acts like Biden does not need to be put into any position of office for future notice. That's a fact. This guy is as crazy as a lot of these other Democrats. He's trying to be as crazy as left as them in order to get the job. Anybody that wants to legalize heroin has obviously lost their friggin' mind. That's what I have to say about the fact. Just him running on that alone makes me shake my head at him. He wants to defund the police. This guy Fetterman is a piece of work. So I am really appreciative for Trump going to Pennsylvania today and having a rally to try to rally the troops and rally the votes to help put some better people in office than what we've already got over there in Pennsylvania. We've got to clean house over there, including taking out a few of those woke lefties that have been running the state for way too long. Now let me go ahead and get into a little bit of information here I got for you. Now, Steve Bannon has got an article over here on the War Room, and he was talking about how Marjorie Taylor Greene has been swatted not once, not twice, but 3 times, and he himself has been swatted twice. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get the FBI, these prank callers are trying to get the FBI or the local police to show up with guns drawn, kicking the door in the name of preservation of somebody's life because somebody's calling in that there's been a murderous crime committed or something on Steve Bannon and Marjorie Taylor Greene's property, and therefore the police show up in the middle of the night, guns drawn, and it just turned out to be a mess. I think they're starting to figure out this is a bunch of pranksters. I think these people need to be highly prosecuted for not just the prank calls, but for trying to put these people in a position to have shootouts with the police. This is bad business all the way around. I can't believe more people aren't talking about this and doing anything about it. But it is what it is, considering the Department of Justice and the FBI right now are being run by a bunch of tyrants. No doubt about it. Now, we'll get into a little more of the FBI tyranny here in a little bit at the end of the program here. I'll actually make it my last video on this particular episode. Well, we knew Barr was weak and pathetic and a rhino, but Trump had some opinion about him as well today over here on the Gateway Pundit. Barr doesn't claim to know anything about what happened in 2020, and now he is saying that the FBI raid was warranted, it looks like. No telling what's really going on, but Barr is obviously a Trump hater at this point. Trump has said enough about him, and they have had enough conversations together that obviously they're not friends anymore. Now, there's no doubt about it with these swattings with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Steve Bannon, and probably several more to come. This is all about trying to scare people, intimidate people, prevent people from running, and it's just a tyrannical tactics to try to change the outcome of things, including scare people into not being truthful and outspoken like Marjorie Taylor Greene is. Now, the film My Son Hunter has debuted in Hollywood at a secret Hollywood screening, probably because they would have some backlash if they showed it, because there's way too many Hunter Biden and Joe Biden supporters over there in Hollywood. You know that's a fact. But at any rate, the film gets a standing ovation at its debut. I will be looking forward to watching that movie. It is rentable online. It's called My Son Hunter, and it's probably going to be a great one. Maricopa Mike, if y'all know who this guy is from Sweet Home Maricopa, friend of mine, another podcaster. He knows the guys, Brian Godawa and several other guys that were involved in the making of this film. And so I just want to promote this film, not just for that reason, but for the fact that this is the type of stuff that needs to come out. I'm glad to see it happen. I'm glad to see more and more conservative truths coming out, even in movie form. They can't stop us. It's all coming out now. You know, and if you haven't seen all the Dinesh D'Souza movies at this point, I would suggest go watch them. They're all great. There's about 5 or 6 of them, and I've watched probably all of them at this point. I think all of them at this point. And they really tell a tale as to what has happened to America since 2016. Just watching them in order from 2016, Hillary's America, the Trump card, 2000 Donkeys. There's several different Dinesh D'Souza movies out there that are just spot on, telling the truth as to what's really going on, has been going on with the socialism in our country. Now, let me go ahead and get into what I really want to talk about. Ukraine wants a bunch more money, and it's going before Congress again to give them another $13 billion. I'm sure they're probably going to do it because we got some warmonger Republicans that like to keep a percentage of that money as well, because you know not every one of those dollars are making it over to Ukraine. No way. That's why Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi went to Ukraine before the big deal happened where we started sending them billions of dollars. You think that was because they were over there on vacation? I think not. Now, they said today that Google Play Store, after they just stopped people from downloading Truth Social, now they're getting backlash from it for those that don't already have Truth Social. They decided they're going to put Parler back up after 2 years of being banned. Now, I never got on Parler. I'm not much of a fan of Parler. I didn't like the way their website was set up when they first come out. But now we have another alternative option to mainstream media. In theory, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That was really a sad situation what they did to Parler. That was censorship on the biggest of levels, being able to literally take out a whole app by not having the ability to download it from these app stores. That's an all-powerful way of being when you can prevent somebody from having the knowledge because you prevent the app from being available. That is criminal, if you ask me. It has nothing to do with free speech, obviously. Now, Joe Biden, after he did his sinister Hitler conversation, he's now back off on vacation again. And you know, all the outrage that he had yesterday, I mean, the screaming and I seen a picture of him with his hands up like this, and I seen a picture of Adolf Hitler with his hands up like this, and they're both in the red background like he had on his speech. And I realized, wow, this is so similar. These pictures are so much alike. So I was going to put out a meme about it. But if you look, since I've started this video, you see here, my phone is still spooling. I've never in my life had a problem with putting pictures in community posts and them uploading directly. Happens quick and easy. You can take a picture and turn it into a meme in just a few seconds if you have a channel. But obviously, they are now censoring the community post as well because my phone works in every other way. I downloaded other memes today, not a problem, but this one particular meme where it's got Adolf Biden picture, somehow or another, it just ain't working. So the algorithm must be working against photographs as well. Just my opinion, but that's what I think. And so at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a picture anyway, if I can get away with it, because it's a little controversial. Now, they said Biden has spent 40% of his presidency on vacation. That's sickening. Get to work, dude. Now, yesterday, I put out an article and a link down below in my description to Project Veritas. They've been for 3 or 4 days now busting these left-wing political agenda-loving, indoctrinating groomers, I guess is what best way to explain it. from New York City school directors to New York City teachers to vice principals. Project Veritas has been going down the line trying to expose these folks just for the way they're trying to groom our children. And they are doing a great job of exposing this stuff with these with these interviews. And now it looks like this lady that was interviewed yesterday or interviewed a few days ago, who just spoke out about how they find a way to prevent conservative teachers from teaching in their schools, even in private schools, and how they secretly slide in their indoctrinating agenda. Exposed herself right on film. Well, after Project Veritas did an expose on it, well, now she's been placed on leave. Hopefully they'll fire that woman. Hopefully there's enough backlash that will happen because of this. They'll have to get somebody else in there who is not near as crazy. I like to see people like this get fired and never be allowed to work again for the school system, just for their crazy mentalities. And if y'all want to check that out, I'll leave you a link in the description below to this article as well. Yeah, the woman told off on herself, and now she's on, I guess, on paid leave. Let's see here. Now, Biden is backing radical Mark Kelly. I do not like Mark Kelly at all. He's a weasel, as far as I'm concerned, out of Arizona. But he finally agrees to a debate against Trump-endorsed Blake Masters on a deadline debate. Blake Masters was calling him out. You going to debate with me or not? Well, I guess last minute he decided, well, I guess I better do it. I'm starting to look stupid. So, at any rate, we've been waiting to find out if Katie Hobbs will debate Kari Lake. That's the one I want to see. That would be a barn burner of a conversation, I'm sure. But now we find out that Katie Hobbs chickens out. She requests a separate interview to basically combat Kari Lake's conversation, meaning that it will be not fair. It'll be my opinion and your opinion, and no debate involved. I think all politicians ought to have the balls to debate stuff in public, especially their policies, because that's what we really want. We want transparency. We want to know what these people are doing, thinking, and planning to do with our state and our country before we ever put them in office. That's why I think open debates are an awesome necessity to be a candidate. I think it should be mandatory that you have to get up there in front of the people and take questions if you want to try to run something, and that's just a fact. You know, those that hide and run and hide and don't want to answer questions, those are usually the ones that have shitty policies. It's been proven. Not a joke, not an opinion, but it's definitely a fact. Now, Bill Barr trashed Trump. He said it's unprecedented for a president to take all this classified information and put them in a country club. Now, I won't show you that video, but Barr is basically saying that the Department of Justice and the FBI had reason to do what they wanted to do. And we're still waiting on the special master ruling, which has actually been put on delay, but it looks like that was a Trump-appointed judge that is actually going to get to decide how the fate of all this affidavit information goes when it comes to declassifying it and allowing the public to see it. Now, I had one more article on here I wanted to bring y'all. Here it is. It says, oh my, this changes everything. Biden family whistleblower Tony Bobulinski says the top FBI official, Tim Thibault, buried information he gave to the Bureau on the Biden's family criminal acts. Now, if you don't know, Bobulinski is the guy that told us all about 10% for the big guy. He was hanging out with Hunter Biden business partners. And at this point, we know a lot of what we know about the Bidens through Bobulinski's testimony alone. And he did try to cooperate with the FBI in order to just put the truth out there. Now, I got a video for you. This is the older video, but this is just to let you know, if you don't know, how Bobulinski plays a role in this. And I'll read the bottom of the article to you as well, which explains how this Thibault guy is gone, and for good reason. I think the FBI doesn't care what we think about the Mar-a-Lago raid, but I think they know they look stupid behind the lack of transparency and lack of prosecution, considering they've had the laptop since 2019. There was actually an article I read that said that they have known about Hunter Biden's laptop for years and years, and they just refuse to cover it. Let's go ahead and get into this article real quick.
2017, the night before Joe Biden was to appear at the Milken Conference, I was introduced to Joe Biden by Jim Biden and Hunter Biden. At my approximately hour-long meeting with Joe that night, we discussed the Biden's history, the Biden's family business plans with the Chinese, with which he was plainly familiar, at least at a high level. After that meeting, I had numerous communications with Hunter, Walker, Gilliar, and Jim Biden regarding the allocation of the equity ownership of Sinohawk. On May 13, 2017, I received an email concerning allocation of equity, which says 10% held by H for the big guy.
10%.
In that email, there's no question that H stands for Hunter, big guy for his father, Joe Biden, and Jim for Jim Biden. In fact, Hunter often referred to his father as the big guy or my chairman. On numerous occasions, it was made clear to me that Joe Biden's involvement was not to be mentioned in writing, but only face-to-face. In fact, I was advised by Gilliar and Walker that Hunter and Jim Biden were paranoid about keeping Joe Biden's involvement secret. I also had a disagreement with Hunter about the funds CFC was contributing to Sinohawk. Hunter wanted $5 million of those funds to go to himself and his family, so he wanted the funds wired directly to an entity affiliated with him. I objected because that was contrary to our written agreements concerning Sinohawk. He said, referring to the chairman, his father, that CFC was really investing in the Biden family, that he held the Trump card, and that he was the one putting his family legacy on the line. He also said to me on May 17th, 2017, that CFC wanted to be my partner, to be partnered with the Bidens. During these negotiations, I repeated to Hunter and others that Sinohawk could not be Hunter's personal piggy bank. And I demanded that proper corporate governance procedures be implemented for capital distributions. Hunter became very upset with me. CFC through July 2017 was assuring me the funds would be transferred to Sinohawk, but they were never sent to our company. Instead, I found out from Senator Johnson's September report that the $5 million was sent in August 2017 to entities affiliated with Hunter.
Wow. Let me go ahead and scroll down here and let me show you how this is relevant to what's going on today. Now, this is a couple-year-old video there. A little more documentation about the 10% for the big guy, but we all know who the big guy is. And it ain't Trump. It's Joe Biden. It wasn't Russia collusion. It was Chinese coercion right into the Biden family, no doubt about it. I think Ukraine and several other these countries over there have done so much business with the Bidens that they know how corrupt they are. Therefore, that is keeping our country basically in a headlock because our president is totally compromised behind what him and his son have been trying to do for a long time. Steal our energy production and make it not independent but dependent on other countries so they can be the middleman, and that's the truth of the matter. You know, Hunter and Joe Biden have got money invested in coal mines, or not in coal mines, in cobalt mines in Africa and in several places around the world. They're trying to be big business for the electric battery business. That is their main goal, is to be in control of all this new green energy crap that they're pushing for us and be the middleman between us and China while all this stuff happens. While places like California can't afford on their electrical power grid to run your air conditioner and charge your car at the same time, but somehow or another they think this is the future. Wow, they got a long way to go with the infrastructure of energy to get to a place to where all these electric cars are actually sustainable on our power grid. So it's not working very well, obviously, even though they're in the push to change the world. They're doing their best. It says the witness Tony Bobulinski has now concerns that the former official Timothy Thibault, who's the FBI guy who was just fired the other day, or relocated, as they say. He helped bury the information about his dealings with Hunter Biden, or with the Biden family, and that he gave to the FBI. The sources told the Washington Free Beacon Thibault retired from the FBI last week in allegations from whistleblowers that he shut down an investigation into the avenue of derogatory information about Hunter. So the FBI is throwing this guy under the bus as the reason that they didn't do anything about Hunter for years. They got to have somebody take the fall for it. I'm sure that's the way they do it over there at the FBI, just like the politicians do. It says Senate Republicans began scrutinizing Thibault earlier this year over the anti-Trump rhetoric he's been posting on social media. It has been unclear what role Thibault played in the Biden investigation, which began in 2018, but his oversight of Bobulinski means that he oversaw one of the most significant witnesses to come forward with information about the Biden's business links to China. The FBI interviewed Bobulinski for 5 hours in 2020 after Bobulinski publicly disputed Joe Biden's claim to have never discussed business with his son. Bobulinski said that he met with Hunter and Joe in May of 2017 to discuss multi-million-dollar deals with CEFC Chinese Energy. That's a solar company in China. The Chinese energy conglomerate with ties to the Chinese military intelligence. That's the CCP for those that don't know. The California-based businessman also said Joe Biden is the big guy, referenced in cryptic emails discussed in equity payments from all their business dealings. Let me read a little more. There's a little more to this article. It says, in my hour-long meeting with Joe Biden, we discussed Biden's family business dealings with the Chinese, he was plainly familiar. Bobulinski said that at a press conference before the FBI interview that the text messages show Bobulinski and Hunter Biden arranging a meeting with Joe Biden at the Beverly Hills Hilton. Emails from Biden's abandoned laptop shows extensive discussions about CEFC, China's energy. So the New York Post reported earlier this year that the grand jury witness was asked to identify the big guy, referencing the email sent to Biden and Bobulinski. Bobulinski has not yet been contacted by a U.S. attorney, of course not, and called before the grand jury, and sources told the Free Beacon, meaning they don't care about his information. They're not trying to go after the big guy or the big guy's son, crackhead. It says, according to the sources, Bobulinski's attorney had multiple interactions with Thibault after Bobulinski's FBI interview. They said that Thibault told Bobulinski's lawyer the FBI would reach out if additional information was needed, but the Bureau has not made any attempt to contact Bobulinski since. That's good reporting right there. I'm glad to see that we found out why this guy got fired. Has probably very little to do with the raid, even though he signed off on the raid, but more to do with the fact that the FBI has been slow walking this Hunter Biden thing for a long time, and this Thibault guy, this agent Thibault, was one of the ones that just basically laid this story to rest. Somebody's got to take a fall for the way the FBI is looking today. There's no doubt about it. They are looking sad and weak in every way possible, and more than that, super corrupt. I'm glad to see all this exposure happening. I cannot wait for some prosecutions and some accountability to be rendered. There's going to be a day of reckoning for all these fools. I have to pray for that one. We got to be patient, and you got to pray for that. You know, I have a little gavel of justice over here I found at the thrift store the other day while I was buying me an American flag. This is a gavel of justice. It's pretty small, and that's the way I feel right now. Our justice system is just not doing its job. It is shrank down to being partisan, and therefore justice is not working with the gavel at this point. Not in the right direction. Eventually, we will be able to take the gavel back, and it'll be a much bigger gavel, and it will be banging loudly against all these crooks, criminals, thieves, and liars, and treasonous traitors that are trying to sell our country out. Everybody from Dr. Fauci to all these Democrats, and even some of these rhinos that are trying to paint the orange man bad and put us all in the same deplorable basket with their criminal activity. You know, they're the ones that call us the evil ones. In reality, the devil is a liar, and that's all I can say about that. Now, I've seen already that there is thousands and thousands of people outside of the rally waiting to talk, or waiting to just hear Trump speak today. And you know, I'm going to listen to a lot of this. If you heard Trump speak once, you've heard him speak 1,000 times. And it's a lot of times it's a little bit of the same conversation. But I guarantee you today's conversation will be eye-opening. He's going to probably, for the first time, really get up and speak about the way they're treating him, his house, how corrupt they are. I think this will be a barn burner of an event tonight, and I'm glad to see he's in Pennsylvania, not just to trash Joe Biden and the FBI, which I'm sure he will do, but he's there to support our America First candidates like Dr. Oz and Doug Mastriano, the great fighter for integrity in Pennsylvania. Now, I think I had one more. They said U.S. sets another gun sales record, 1 million guns sold for 37th straight month in a row. While Biden tries to divide the country, more people realize they need to get a gun and for protection, because you never know what's coming next in this crazy time we're living in, where evil calls evil good, and it's just changing the way people's perspective is on the violence, the BLM riots, the crime, the hateful rhetoric that's coming out of the television, whether it be from the news correspondents or directly from the White House. People are arming themselves because they feel like they're in a time, I believe this, they feel like we're in a time that you may need a gun someday to protect your own if this situation gets too much worse. That's about all I got for you, but I did want to, let's see here, there was one more thing I wanted to bring it up. Oh, no, let me see here, I apologize, folks. I think I lost an article. There was an article on here I wanted to read y'all. Dr. Malone was on Newsmax this morning. Great interview explaining about the Wu flu and all the things that are going on involving it, and how the CDC is now having to walk stuff back while they're still trying to prosecute these outspoken doctors. All right, folks, I think that's all I got for you today. Go check out that Trump rally tonight. It's guaranteed to be a barn burner event, just for the information that Trump is going to spell out tonight. He has already said that he is going to drop the hammer on the truth tonight. He is going to let them know what's really going on, and I can't wait. Like, subscribe, and share to Vote Patriots. Have a great day.